how do I curve my golf ball intentionally? Hey everybody, welcome to the channel today and thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please click on that subscribe button below and you'll get all the content that I put out each week. This week we are talking about hitting draws and fades. So if you're a drawer of the ball or a fader of the ball and you want to try to do more of that or less of that, I'm going to give you the tips today that's going to be able to cure all of those problems. While we're talking about draws and fades today, we first have to establish a straight line. So I'm going to first show you how we set up to be as square as we possibly can, and then we're going to identify the couple tweaks that we make in our stance, setup, and our release to create the curvature that we most desire. Straight shot starts with a couple elements that you may all be familiar with. Number one, I have my alignment rod down here, which is going to indicate my body's relationship to my target line. Very important to get these elements in play. I want my feet, knees, hips, and shoulders parallel to my target line to create the straightest ball flight I can possibly create. My club face is going to be on the same line as my target line. So if I want to hit the ball in this direction right here, my club face has got to be perpendicular to that line. I always want the club face to point in the direction where the ball is going to finish. Let's see if I can create a square club face, a straight shot. I'm not generally going to do a whole lot better than that. 1.4 degrees from the inside with a face angle that's 1.5 degrees to the right. 13 feet right of my target with a 7-iron in my hand from 175 yards approximately. 13 feet off target line wouldn't make me upset at all. So now let's talk about how we can turn this relatively square path and face and make this ball curve a little bit. Too oftentimes players feel like they've got to do something that's like an out-of-body experience to create control of the golf ball. You can change your setup and have a little bit more of a focus on how your arms and the club face rotate through impact to create these various shot patterns. So the very first one we're going to do is going to be the draw shot or the right to left shot for a right-handed player. I talked about creating parallel lines between our feet, knees, body, target line, and now I'm going to take this and aim this to the right of my target. The club face has to point to the target for these modifications to your setup and your release to really pay dividends. So number one, I set up more toward the right. And if I set up toward the right, that means that I've got to create more face rotation to get that ball to swing back around to the left. So a lot of times with the draw shot or the right to left shot, I'll feel more arm rotation at the bottom of my swing, and that really helps me feel like the club is wrapping around my shoulders and my neck a little bit more so. So let's see if we can't create a little bit of curve with the right to left draw shot. Face is at the target. Feet, knees, hips, and shoulders are pointed well right. Face, again, is at the target. And I'm going to let my arms rotate a little bit more forcefully right down here at the bottom. And there you go. My club path now suddenly went from 1 to 13. I only missed 14 feet left, which isn't too bad considering the nature of the curve I've created. And all I've done is change my alignment of my body and a little bit of extra effort of forearm rotation to create this right to left draw shot. Now we have to try to hit the fade shot or the left to right shot. We're going to follow the same exact approach that we followed for the draw to hit the fade. First and foremost, my setup, this would be me square to hit my straight shot. And you'll see once my body finds the left alignment, now I've got feet, knees, hips, and shoulders pointing well left of the target. The club face is still pointing directly at the target. But now, like most of you out there, because my path is going to be so much more to the left, as I've designed, I use less arm rotation. Feel a little bit more like it's a holding sensation. 90% of you out there start the ball left and curve the ball right. One of the most common shots we see in golf. I'm gonna try to replicate that based on the tendencies that you all use. So let's see if we can't make this ball fade a little bit from left to right. And if I'm really good, this is gonna look like a nice little heart when we're done. Body's left, shoulders are left. I move my ball position just fractionally forward for this fade shot. Now let's see if we can't create a little fade.
Nice. 2 feet, that'd be good.
Well, you know, folks, sometimes lightning strikes. 2 feet off my target line. I hit that one a little bit off the toe, but they're gonna go a little shorter than your draw shot does. So I mentioned that if my draw and my fade work correctly, when they get put together, it looks like a heart. So here we go. Looks like a heart to me. The fade shot goes out of the screen with height, and the draw shot here is a little bit lower. So draws usually go a little lower, fades usually go a little higher, which is why draws usually go a little further, and fades usually go a little bit shorter. Keep that in mind when you're picking the right club to try to get to those tuck pins. Thanks again for tuning in today, everybody. I hope you were able to take away some good information from today's lesson. And if you've got any questions about your game that I haven't answered, please comment below. As always, please subscribe if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you all next week.